Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here today. We are super excited because we have amazing news that you probably been seeing in our social media and all the likes and everything. And we have here today Tess, Paige, and Mikkel, and they will introduce to you our new partnership, Citizen Health. And just before they start, I just want to ask you here. Mm, oh, okay, because then I went to uh, there we go. Here, here. I okay. This is what we are here for today is to get to know citizen and understand how this partnership is going to help our community. So, Citizen, it's a easy way to contribute to research because they will explain a little bit in more detail. But what I need from you now is to go on the chat and put your emails in so that I can invite you to onboard. So, because at the end of the call, we are going to do a live onboard. So everybody is going to be able to set up their Citizen account and understand how far you can right now put in your data and contribute to research immediately. So if you guys start putting in the chat, just leave uh, your emails and you will receive a message very soon. So this is a small reminder of why we do what we do and our mission at v-ATPase. It's our warriors, are our kids. They are the fuel that just keep us going and keep us finding new partnerships and new ways to improve their lives. And this is a print screen of Daniel's, um, so my son's onboarding because I tried it. I wanted to make sure that there was only 5 minutes and it was really, really easy. And yes, it is. And I did it all. And you will see it's super easy to set up. So if you haven't done so, please put your email in the chat and I'll send you an invite so then you can also do the same as I did. And with that, I'll pass it over to Kate to start the
No,
presentation. And once again, thank you everyone for coming.
no.
Thank you, Anarita. It
Mhm.
is really wonderful to be here and wonderful to meet all of you. We are a smaller group today, so this can be very interactive. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat or come off mute. I might ask if participants can go on mute just for the time being, just so we can reduce feedback on the Zoom. That might be good for the recording later on. But feel free to jump in at any time with questions. So my name is Kate Haldeman. I support our work with the advocacy groups at Citizen Health. And today I'm excited to share with you a little bit more about what is Citizen, how you stand to benefit as a caregiver, and for your patients and kids, how they stand to benefit, and how taking just a few minutes of your time to participate can really help push forward research in very meaningful ways with minimum patient burden. That's what we're all about. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and take you through a few slides to explain our approach. So at our core, what we are looking to do and what we're doing here at Citizen is empowering patients to drive their care and research through their own health data. Think about your journey as a caregiver of an individual with a rare disease. You're interacting with the health system constantly. There's a breadcrumb trail of data for patients for rare disease children that is more or less trapped in the medical record. Now imagine you could unlock the insights from that health data to help inform what's my best next step? What treatments should I be potentially considering to manage my symptoms? How can this data help answer questions that researchers desperately need answers to in order to take a next step in developing therapeutics? There's so much valuable information in your health records that can help you today and that can help your community tomorrow and into the future for research purposes. So I'm going to talk about how we make that work and how you can participate in all of that. So A little bit more about Citizen. So we are a team of rare disease patients ourselves, caregivers, advocates for rare diseases. Pictured here is little Amara. She's 7 years old. She has FOXG1 syndrome. She's the daughter of our co-founder, and really what has brought us all together here, our origin story. And our co-founder, Amara's mom, like many of you, realized that the traditional way that we care for patients across the world is not well suited to rare diseases. You know, a rare disease patient is very different than your average patient. Amara has 50 seizures a week. She has frequent hospital stays. She's on many, many different medications and 24-hour care. The current model for how we care for these patients and how we do research to help find cures for these patients is just unfortunately falling short. So that is why, Nasha and our founding team have got together to help change this narrative. And what do I mean by that? Unfortunately, the narrative today is that 95% of rare diseases do not have a treatment. And it takes billions of dollars to develop drugs. And not every condition is able to get industry interest. So you find a slew of rare diseases where we, with advocacy groups, are just bootstrapping their way to try to answer questions, to try to de-risk it for pharma companies to accelerate research. And it is just too costly and too time consuming. And that's just because rare diseases are quite complex. It can take many years to collect enough data, just given the rarity of the diseases. It's quite burdensome on the families to travel and very expensive to execute trials. So it's a slow moving process. So really what we're looking at here is a data problem. We're not able to get enough data fast enough in a high enough quality way to answer the questions researchers need to make this go better, make this go faster. And our hypothesis and what we've been proving out is that data is actually closer than we think. It's just trapped in the medical record. There's so much rich data that's in your medical history that can help really dramatically move along the process of research that traditionally has been trapped in different systems, different EMRs, different labs, across the world, really. There's no one single place where you can see your own complete longitudinal health history to both help yourself and to help your community with the research questions that you need to ask. So that is what we are all about, is is addressing that issue and making it come to life for the community. So at Citizen, we're a two-sided platform centered on the patient. With the patient's consent, when you sign up and take 5 minutes to sign up as part of our partnership here, we go out and for patients in the US, we collect all of your medical history on your behalf. We centralize it into your Citizen Secure profile, and then you choose what happens with it. You can use that central information to help share it with a provider for a second opinion, to help inform your own care journey, and to choose to contribute it to research efforts that are looking at trends and forecasting how we can best help support and take next steps with the condition. So what that looks like at a glance is that it takes about 5 minutes to set up an account, which we'll walk through momentarily. We go out and collect your comprehensive medical data if you are signing up in the US, and we'll talk about the international opportunities and how we support international patients. And then you control your data and you can choose how it is shared, when it is shared. So our whole model is based on the fact that it is your data, so you control how it is used. The benefits here, at a glance, it's no cost comprehensive a collection of your medical history. You get full access to the medical records. You have the ability to easily choose to put your de-identified data towards research. So it's one sign up and you can put your data towards many different research opportunities with, again, just one 5-minute sign up. And it's completely digital. You don't even need to get off your couch to do it. So we're looking for low burden ways to help patients contribute to research and to get benefits themselves for their own care journey. And something that I like to really highlight here is it's not just a benefit to the individual, but really is a community condition benefit, which is when the community comes together to unlock this very important data in the medical history, it can reveal very rich, helpful insights about the condition to drive research and treatment options. Maybe I'll take a quick pause. I saw some chats come through, so I just want to make sure if there are any questions. Okay, just emails. Excellent. So keep putting in those emails, and then we can Anna Rita will take care of the invites. So let me breathe some life into how exactly does this help research, so you guys can get a sense of, what the data can be used for. So you may or may not be familiar with the drug development and research process. It's largely broken out into a few different stages. I can simplify it here and just say there's some basic discovery through to we've developed a drug and now we're doing follow-up on the patients and post-marketing. And when you think about each stage of this process, it's looking for different data points. And you can make it go along much faster and consistently when you have richer data to share with researchers or you've aggregated that for your community. So the very basic questions like what are the different variants? Who makes up this condition? Where are they? What are their key demographics? What are the different medications they've been trying out to manage their symptoms? And so on and so forth. And all these questions go to inform very important aspects of what researchers are looking to design, which are things like in more advanced stages of the research, what are the right measures we need to use in a clinical trial to understand if the drug is working or it's not? Or what is the right inclusion criteria that we need to use for patients? Or how do we make sure we are using the right tests that get at what we're actually meaningful data and not overburdening the patients with too many tests? And so traditionally, and still today, there's a very important process of the in-person natural history study, where essentially we have in-person visits for a particular condition at various sites, really could be across the world, where they're looking to gather some very baseline information about patients. So it could just, they do a battery of tests on all the patients to make sure they're collecting just to characterize the disease. Now, unfortunately, this can be a very, very expensive endeavor, right? Because, this is just one example. It can vary across different therapeutic areas, but you can see that it can be, $3 million just to run a small natural history study in person. And that's just to get the very basics of a disease understood. And so what we're really looking to do is change that model, which is, can we use the data we already have today to speed up this and other aspects of the full drug development cycle? Can we get ahead of answering the questions that are trying to be answered in these natural history studies, but do that with the data you already have? So we can really speed this up and sometimes skip over this step and use the digital data instead of needing to do an in-person study. So with the citizen data, we're basically able to help researchers better and more quickly understand, without burdening the patient, very important questions around endpoint selection, understanding the basics of the disease, helping them plan for a better clinical trial. And again, all digital without needing to burden patients to go into visits. And one case study that I really like to share is that we've already seen this be successful in rare disease communities with actually replacing in-person natural history studies. So this is one example of one of our industry partners, Praxis Precision Medicines, had an in-person natural history study ongoing for about 5 years for the cohort, for the condition SCN2A, a rare epileptic condition. They partnered with Citizen to essentially help provide additional data because they were having some gaps in their in-person study. But through our work with Citizen and the advocacy groups in the SCN2A space, we were able to collect not only more depth of data, but more breadth of data that Praxis was able to use just the digital NHS data that was collected through that 5-minute sign up as the full data source for their FDA, what's called investigational new drug filing, a very important milestone in the drug development process. So that just goes to show the richness of the data that can be produced just through your 5-minute sign up and the collection of the medical records and the work that Citizen does to extract and harmonize that data to be able to be used in research. And so with that, we've been able to partner across the rare disease communities to generate a boon in research across rare diseases. And this is really important because this is a key step to help de-risk a lot of these conditions to pharma interests and take next steps for researchers to understand how can we move the needle on therapies and treatments for rare diseases. So maybe I'll take a quick pause and see if there are any questions on the general model, anything else I can help address before we move to do a little bit more detail on the onboarding flow, our international patient options. And of course, we'll have time for questions at the end as well. But in case there's anything burning, I want to make sure to address that. Okay.
Well, maybe Kate, could you
Yes.
expand a little bit on how each of the caregivers might also use their own medical records and notes, like in the day-to-day interaction with clinicians and potential emergency settings if
Yes,
anything
it's a
happens?
great point. It's a huge value proposition to the family, and Mikkel will demonstrate this when she goes through the experience. But one of the key attributes of having your citizen profile is that you have all your medical data in one place. So, and then you have the ability to easily share that with whomever you choose. So, with a click of a button, you can, for example, if you're going to see a new doctor for the first time, instead of repeating your full medical history, you can share your medical history in advance of your appointment. They can read up on all the detailed notes and the summary of your medical conditions. You have a very well-informed, targeted discussion at your next visit. Or in an emergency situation, if you need to quickly share your medical history and time is of the essence, again, it's another way for you to do that easily without needing to carry around binders or physical papers or need to have it committed to memory. So that's a very good sort of companion for supporting your care journey. Okay,
Thanks.
wonderful. Great. So with that, I will hand it over to my wonderful colleague, Mikkel, who leads our patient support team. She can introduce herself, and we'll go through a little bit more of the details around how to get started, and some description more about the platform and the patient experience.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, everyone. As Kate said, I am Mikkel, and I lead the patient support team here at Citizen Health. I'm here to support patients as they onboard onto the platform, here to answer any questions once the profile is completed. There's many ways to reach out and contact me, and I'll show those later. There's a chat feature in the app, there's an email and a phone, but really what I'm here to do is to walk through onboarding with you. I'm actually physically going to go through the process so you can watch and see how it happens and follow along with me as well. You can do it as I'm doing it. And again, interrupt me at any time with any questions. So if we could go to the next slide, in case you didn't get it in your email, this is a QR code and the website that you can go to actually start the onboarding process. And we'll go to the next slide. Just talking through again some of the benefits to patients for the Citizen Health platform. It's the easiest way to power research. It's all access to all of your medical records in one place. So you can access them on your desktop, you can access them on your phone. If you're at an emergency room visit and you need to pull up some important piece of information, you can actually find that right then and there on your phone. You have more control and understanding of your loved one's healthcare. And it also helps to build important natural history research for your condition. Again, I'm going to talk about security first. We prioritize that patient's data is protected. We follow the HIPAA privacy rules expert determination to confirm minimal risk of patient re-identification and data shared with research partners. Studies are compliant with IRB and GDPR requirements. Processes and controls are in place designed to comply with Title 21 CFR Part 11. We use the AWS platform to hold patient data. This is an encrypted platform used to keep the data secure. We also encrypt the data locally and have stringent policies for staff to ensure that your data is protected at all times. And we can go to the next slide. For international families, you are also able to obviously create a Citizen Health account. We are unable to collect the medical records outside of the United States, but you are able to upload any of the records that you have in your possession, and you're able to collect your own medical records and upload them. Most importantly, the genetic testing. If you have the genetic testing, that will be great. That will be able to be used towards the registry. By March of this year, we will have the onboarding translated into Mandarin Chinese, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Standard Arabic, and Turkish. And you will be able to participate in the registry, surveys, and patient-reported data features coming later this year. We go to the next screen. So in just a minute, I'm going to actually physically walk through the onboarding, but what we're going to do is create a username and password. We're going to enter our basic demographic information. There are two separate consents, one sharing information with the advocacy group and one putting de-identified data towards research. We'll enter providers and then we'll validate our identity. So with that, I will take over the sharing of this screen. So once you have gone to the landing page, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and choose Get Started. The first step is entering your email address. And you're creating your own password. It has to be at least 8 characters long, 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, and 1 number. Your email address is actually how you will sign into your account. That'll be your username. The next step is asking what your name is. So if you are creating an account on behalf of your child or loved one, you're actually putting your own name in here. Choose to continue. And the next step, it asks who you are creating the account for, either yourself, a loved one, a child or spouse, or a loved one who has passed. If you are creating an account on behalf of a loved one, and they are under the age of 18, no legal document is required. But if you are creating an account on behalf of a loved one that is over 18, a legal document will be needed. It'll be either guardianship paperwork, conservatorship paperwork, a medical power of attorney, or any sort of legal document showing that you have legal rights to collect those medical records and consent on behalf of your loved one. I'm going to demonstrate the loved one flow here. I'll choose to continue. And now it asks for the patient's name and the patient's date of birth. Continue. It asks where you live, either the United States or international. The onboarding flow for international families looks just like this onboarding flow. You just will not be asked to enter any provider information. Other than that, it looks exactly the same. I'm going to choose the United States. And it asks for the primary diagnosis, and it gives you some recommended diagnoses and the year that your child was diagnosed. This is the first consent. This is consenting to share with the advocacy group. This is sharing your contact information and your citizen health onboarding status. You can click Learn More to actually read through the consents, and you can share my information or decline. And now we're going to add the child's providers. We actually use the Google database as our search engine. So you can use it just like you would Google. You're going to find any providers that you would find on Google here on this database. If you see many providers within a large facility, such as Kaiser, Mayo Clinic, or New York University, you can actually choose the large university. You don't have to list all of the doctors separately. Most facilities do have centralized medical record areas. So when we put a request to a large facility, they're going to send the information from all of the providers within that facility to us. If it's a facility that they have lots of different locations in different states, you can narrow it down by city, states, by address. You're also able to add doctors specifically by name. And again, you can narrow it down by city and state just to be able to find the specific doctor that you're looking for. Genetic testing is very important. So if you know the lab that processed your child's genetic testing, you can actually search and find the lab specifically. If you don't know the lab that performed the genetic testing, you can add the provider that ordered the genetic testing, and they'll forward it to us. Important providers to add would be primary care physicians, again, around the genetic testing, any genetic counselors that you've seen, any specialists that you've seen in relation to the diagnosis, neurologists, cardiologists, any specialists. If you have a long list and you don't know them all right now, you don't have to add them all right now. You can come back and add them later. You're able to log in at any time, or if you forgot to add anyone, you're able to log in at any time to add additional providers. I'm going to choose continue. This is the research consent. So this is asking if you would like to contribute your or your loved one's data to research. It's the de-identified data. All of your personal information is removed before the data points are shared with research. Again, you can click learn more to be able to read through the research consents. You can choose to participate or decline. And if you ever want to change that consent, you can reach out to our team and we can change that as well. To add the child's gender, the zip code where you live, and your phone number. And continue. I put in that my child was over 18, so it's asking me to upload a legal document. If you are onboarding on behalf of a child under 18, you would not see this screen. You can upload the document now, or you can choose to remind me later. If you choose to remind me later, we're going to send you an email that'll tell you how to upload it directly to the profile, or you can just forward it to our team to upload on your behalf. And the last step is just signing electronically. You're able to sign, if you have a touch screen, you can sign with your touch screen. You can clear the signature and do it until you get it as close as possible to your signature. The medical record departments do look at the signature to confirm that it is your signature. You can, if you're on a desktop, you can use your touchpad or mouse and then finish registration. This little blue circle in the right corner, that's actually the chat feature. So you can reach out and chat with us live if you have any questions at any time. This is what the profile looks like when it's complete. You can see the record requests that I've made here. And if I wanted to add any additional providers, I can add them right here on the right. The providers do have 30 days by law to send the medical records to us, but they can ask for an extension up to 60 days. So it could take 30 to 60 days, but many of the records will come in pretty quickly within a few weeks. So you can log in and you'll be able to view them here in the medical records. Sharing your health records, as Kate said, you can share the medical records for continuation of care if you're going for second opinions, or with loved ones. You can share the records with whoever you'd like right here from the profile. If you go through this process, the person you're sharing the medical records with will actually receive a link to view the medical records. You're also able to download your own medical records and share them directly if you'd like. And the upload your own records, this is where international families, you're able to upload your records here. You can drag and drop files, or you can select files that you want to upload. I'll upload my driver's license. It's quick and easy. Right there, you can't usually, when you upload a document, you won't see it right away. Usually it'll probably be visible to you the next day, but you can always reach out to our team. You would receive an error if it didn't upload. Up in this top right corner in the drop down is if you needed to change anything on your profile, you can edit your profile and change anything that you need to change if you have any sort of changes or if you entered anything incorrectly. All right, with that, I'm going to stop sharing and go back to our slides, Kate, and see if I missed anything. We do have a triage team that goes through the medical records we received to make sure that nothing is missing. So if we see like, oh, we didn't receive any like primary care physician records within these days, and we don't know where that is, we may reach out to you. So this is our email here, support@citizen.health. If we have any questions about your medical records that you request that you entered, or if there is anything missing and we're not able to track it down ourselves, we may reach out to you with questions. Providers may reach out to you to confirm record requests. They are able to do that, and you actually want them to, right? You want to make sure that they're not just sending out your record request. So they may reach out to confirm that this is a record request that you made. Again, you can log into your account at any time to add any additional providers. And if you go to the next screen, I think that's just going to be our contact information. So again, you can reach out to our team on the live chat by phone or by email. Any questions I can answer for anyone?
I'm wondering, like, do you have an example, a mock example of an account that would have records already uploaded just to see how the patient dashboard or the caregiver dashboard would look like?
Kate, do you have like a test account that has medical records on it?
We might have some screenshots that I can share as like a follow-up. We don't necessarily have like a sandbox feature right now, so anything we would be able to share unfortunately has patient health information in it, so we wouldn't actually be able to share that externally. But I think if it would be helpful, we could follow up, Luis, with you and the team and provide some screenshots to give you a sense of what that looks like.
Sounds good.
Right.
Just a question to everybody. Did anyone try to follow Michael's steps as she was going through the process? Is anyone trying to log in right now and trying to set up right now? Just if
I did.
you are, yeah. So let's
Yeah.
just let us know if you have any questions because we have the experts here. So let us know if you have any questions or if you know because it's very important that we keep this going. Yes, Cindy, I see you raise your hand.
So I have, excuse me. I have the question about the translation of the doctor's documents. Should they be translated, or is it okay to upload them into German?
Thank you, Cindy, for that's a great question. So for our international patients that received care outside of the US, we recommend you focus on uploading your genetic report. That is typically something that is universally able to be analyzed no matter what sort of language of origin it is in, and we can contribute that to the research. Any other documents that you upload, at least at this time, is for your convenience to have a central place to store and share the records. We can't right now translate those for you or include the additional records in the research extracts. It would just be the genetic report.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
And Elizabeth, welcome. I saw that you joined. Also, I can see that you already completed Citizen. So I want to put you on the spotlight and ask you, how was your experience?
It was super easy. Like you said, it takes not even 5 minutes to register. Like I literally just went to the website and filled out some of Peyton's paperwork or some of her information. And then literally I could just start searching for her doctors and or the clinics if I couldn't remember the exact names. And it would literally pull right up and start requesting records. Now it does say that it can sometimes takes like 60 days or something to get the information back, but like it was so easy. I did not expect it to be like that. So I think everybody needs to do it though, because it was just so simple. Like take 5-10 minutes out of your day and like just do it. It was so easy.
I'm going to record this clip and put on our social media everywhere. You are
sorry, I have my 2-year-old here in the background too. So he's right there. But yeah, it's I know we all have like very busy lives and a lot of things going on and it's the holidays and whatnot, but like it doesn't take a long time at all. Just do it at the end of the night, like after you put the kids to bed. Like that's typically my excuse. My kids, they take up a lot of our time and our energy, but it's so simple. Like I can't even stress that enough. So I think like the more people we can get to do it, like you guys have been saying, like the better. It just it's too easy to say no to it or to not take the time to do it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
yeah. Yep.
I don't know if anyone else is trying to do it or if anyone has any questions, or should we wrap it up? Don't be shy.
Yeah, I signed up as just now as we were walking through it. I can echo what Elizabeth just said. Super easy. The function, the Google-like function of typing in doctors' names is beyond easy. The hardest part is going to be just remembering all the doctors he's gone to, but I will put the effort in.
Well, you just have to come back and add it up and keep adding any new doctors, and you have all the information in one place. Yes,
That's
Cindy,
right.
I see you raised the hand.
I just wanted to say thank you for making this appointment and taking time for that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up and be here.
I'm actually gonna, Ms. Rizzo, thank you for reaching out with a question. She reached out to me with a direct question saying that her son's providers are all at a large facility and she's having trouble finding their individual names in our database search. So I would just choose that large facility and not the individual doctors. So sometimes on Google, a doctor might see a patient at a large facility, but that doctor is not actually listed by address at that facility. So if you see them at a larger facility, but you can't find them directly by name, just go ahead and choose the larger facility and we'll be able to get their records directly from the large facility.
So along those lines, then, would it be helpful, for instance, I'll just share like my son's, the majority of his providers are at Texas Children's Hospital. Would it be worthwhile to put Texas Children's Hospital in there just to catch perhaps a doctor that he may have seen one time that I forgot about?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Or any
Okay.
testing. Say he went and had some lab work done that
Yeah.
maybe the patient doesn't have in their notes. We'll collect anything that was done at that hospital.
Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So all the ER episodes should also be added, right? If we went to a different hospital. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That is great.
Actually, just thought of a different question. So when you visit, yeah, your doctor or a large facility, but sometimes you get ordered labs, but then those are actually run by an external party, right? Like an external lab that is not necessarily part of that main facility. Would you need to list that external party, or as soon as you like, because the records come back to the medical facility, they would be able
Correct.
to provide it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. The provider that ordered the lab will actually send the lab with their medical record because they ordered it. They're going to receive, the lab results, and that's going to be part of their medical record. So any testing that they've ordered, they will actually send it to us along with their medical records. You are able to request directly from a lab. So if you don't want to list all of the providers at all of the labs, that ordered labs all at maybe LabCorp or something like that, you can request directly from LabCorp and they will actually send all of the labs that any provider ordered at all. But the doctor who ordered the lab will actually send it as part of their medical record.
I'm so sorry, I can't to ask if we live in Ukraine and have appointment in Ukrainian doctors, we need to registrate, or I have only gen analysis in America and Czech Republic and only another documents for my daughter, it's only Ukraine.
If Elena, you have a genetic test report,
Yes, we have.
That's great. So you can you can sign up, take 5 minutes to sign up, and then you don't choose that you live internationally. You won't be asked for your doctors, but you'll be given the opportunity in your profile to upload the genetic report. And then in that way, we can support that information in the research
Oh, okay.
efforts. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
I just have one quick question, super random, but I know you guys said we needed to bring like a form of ID. We don't, we're good. Okay, because it didn't ask for anything like that from me when I registered. So, okay, that's it.
They
Yeah,
just made it easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just removed that from the process.
Okay, perfect.
I know, I put it everywhere. And then Kate this morning, she just sent me an email saying, hey, we don't require that anymore. I was like, well, okay, so.
Every step we can remove from the process to make it easier for everyone. That's our goal. So that was a new update around not needing the ID.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
Louise, you also had a question, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to ask the other folks on the call just to give us at least an all clear to make sure that the message went through. Marita, Sam, if you could just tell us that the message went through, that you're clear on how to register and upload the genetic reports. That would be helpful. This is the opportunity to ask any clarifying question.
All right, and Marty.
Super. Thanks for letting us know.
I guess this was the last call for questions. So I want to wrap it up and thank everyone for coming and for taking the time to be with you, to here with us. And that's okay, Marisa. It's fine. We understand. And thank you so much for registering. And thank you so much for everybody who came. I hope that if you have any questions, you can reach out to anyone at the Alliance, or you can reach out to our in-house expert, Elizabeth. And of course, how awesome it is that we have citizens here with us today, and they are able to share their contacts as well. So if you have any platform questions, you can also just contact directly with them if you don't want to go through us. It's fine. They are very, very nice, and they will help you, and you will be very well taken on. Sam and Stephanie, I see that you did not receive the link. I'm going to ask you to check your spam folder because sometimes that might happen. If not, just send me a message and I'll send it to you again. Or you can use the link that Louise just put in the chat and start a new account, just like Mikhail did during the call. Okay. Okay, so you can just click in the link that Louise just put in the chat and just follow the steps that you saw on today's presentation. And okay, great. All right. So any more comments? No? All right. Thank you everyone for coming today. And this will be shared in our social media. So if you have any, if you don't recall anything that you saw on today's call, just you will be able to rewatch it and do the process following the steps that we did live. So, and And that's it. And I hope everyone, oh my goodness, Anna. I'm sorry. They're so cute. Our kids are so cute. Oh, yes.
Thank you, Kate and Raquel. I think this was really great. Thanks for all your support on setting up this partnership, and I am excited, that we'll be collecting that data. It will make a difference for accelerating treatments to v-ATPase disorders. So thank you so much for everything that you guys have put together.
Thank you. We're grateful for the partnership and the opportunities to support this wonderful community. So thank you all.
Au revoir.
Goodbye, Emma. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Allez. Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Ah, au revoir.
Bye bye.